former military president, General Ibrahim Babangida, retired, GCFR, for granting us this piece of godly real estate, and all the past leaders for passionately dedicating their time, energies, talent, and skills in shaping, distilling, and projecting the ethos and values that have helped shape our growth, identity, and development.
Governor Emmanuel said his administration has rewritten the Akwa Ibom story across all sectors in all parts of the state and thanked the people for their support over the years.
Leave in the hands of my successor will be one of the deep impacts. There's no Akwa Ibomite of goodwill who would, in his or her true conscience, say we have not done well. From aviation development to infrastructure, to industrialization, to healthcare delivery, to education, to food sufficiency and agriculture, to improvements in power, to human and youth capacity development, to the promotion of small and medium-scale enterprises, and other key areas of the human development. I make bold to say we have stenciled our name in the golden books of the development of this state. This is an unvarnished truth, and the facts bear us out.
The governor, however, decried the attitude of some critics who have elected to demonize the achievements of his administration because of his judicious management of scarce state resources, noting that he will not play politics with the development of the state. The governor charged the people of the state, especially the youth, to resist any attempt by any individual to use them as instruments to foment trouble and harm to others in the forthcoming general election, insisting that politics should not be used as instrument of division, but should rather be played without bitterness. In the meantime, the 10-lane 9.5-kilometer Ring Road 3 road project initiated and completed by the Governor Dom Emmanuel administration has been inaugurated in Uyo, the state capital. Inaugurating the road project as part of activities to mark the 35th anniversary of the state's creation, a former vice president of Nigeria and the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Atiku Abubakar, described the governor as a man of foresight who's turned the state to a development hub in the country. Abubakar, who was represented by the governor of Adamawa State, Amadu Fintiri, called the Nigerians to unite and unify the country.
We are grateful for his foresight, for all that he has been doing, making Akwa Ibom the hub. I want to congratulate the Akwa Ibom people, your governor, for this landmark project. Akwa Ibom, the South, is the home of PDP. So we are calling on everybody. Let us come together. Let us unify this party, unify ourselves, and unify the country so that together we can move forward.
Earlier, Governor Emmanuel, who led dignitaries to the inauguration, said the project comes with a 5.4-kilometer underground drainage tunnel and 3 roundabouts with rainbow water fountains.
Not just the road. It will commission the road from underground drainage, and then it will commission the rainbow fountain, 10 meters high, representing the entire rainbow colors.
In their separate goodwill messages, Chairman Nigeria Governors Forum and Sokoto State Governor Aminu Bello Tambuwal and former Senate President Dr. Bukola Saraki expressed appreciation to Governor Emmanuel for the massive development of the state.
If you multiply 9.5 times 10, that is almost 95 kilometers of road commissioned by our brother, the governor of Akwa Ibom State. He has done well in virtually areas of governance, from aviation to infrastructure to human capital development to education to health. Udom Emmanuel is a blessing to Akwa Ibom State.
I am not surprised, but the people of Nigeria cannot be surprised because you are a PDP governor. We are telling Nigerians what PDP can do and what they are doing in the state. Nigerians, we do not need to speak anymore. If you want a performing country, let the PDP lead the way.
Government House correspondent Genoa reports that the Ring Road 3, which is divided into 2, has a portion from Oron Road to Waniba Road named after former Governor Idong Senkang, while the stretch from Oron Road to Akar Road is named after former governor of Old Cross River State, Clement Isong. Away from that, following the alleged accusation by Township Drivers Association TDAs of unnecessary taxations on commercial drivers in the state, the Ministry of Transportation has debunked such claim, describing it as false. Speaking with Planet News Chief Security Officer, Compliance and Monitoring Unit of the Union, Nefio Essien, mentioned security is one of the reasons it is important for every commercial driver to get biometric registration. He stated that it is to ensure that all security measures are put in place to help passengers identify the right vehicle to make use of and to avoid kidnapping and other related crime in the state. Essien noted that the union is working with the police to ensure good security, adding that the registration is of benefit to the people, not a means of extorting money, as said by TDAs.
Revenue for government, for security of people, the tricycle, the passengers, and the entire state. Because Mendioyo way came here, what we are Moiro what and come and Bodo what and come and commit Mendioing Bombeni Diogonyang, no Menti Namani Kami fit family more. Then a man be a young state Kerinam Yak steady me barake Aronam commission and I find it necessary. Yarinam Boba made Trigami Batu. Me, a tres mendioyo wumi sare siongo. Odo very necessary. Afre woriken boke nama.
The Deputy State Secretary and Road Transport Employers Association of Nigeria, Comrade Godwin Asukwa George, said the federal government is giving the union the authority to protect the interests of car owners and successful transportation of luggage and people to safety. He therefore urged all commercial drivers to follow due process to help achieve the aim of the government. George also advised passengers to make any complaints to their office at number 7 Ifyongbong Street or call 0803 769 6854.
Nkami ke federal government unen to protect interest mun sine moto e benesen ken rubere o waroson. Anyana nyine kidaida ke yukara Akwa Ibom State ke ndaka bo enam this biometric registration koro nyini mida irung ise kero akpana kpanu son keribi kame mom miri ogodunam so na for make sure ke madam mukara anam everything possible to protect that vehicle, to protect the passengers afo benne so imibo ya frame mo e ka ekenam this biometric registration ingere ifere min ku iroko fen mon sibi ro moto ya ru bi on no fien afo rise make boss of roko anie number mi e bi kama that number. In
his remarks, Chairman Minibus Akwa Ibom State, Comrade Matthew Asukwa urged all commercial drivers to follow the directives of the union in order to ensure peace in the state.
Being a me waruwan, boyak, a sang a gite me waruwan, boyak a free woo, a give number, a wait, so that one. I do die furu song go you. In the Yemen or your back and dimension, being merry a free week in a comply. On the issue of double taxation or extortion, a beggar can go and move for no. But song I said, Nam no free with you. Then saying I will for Nam so that it drew Tom Boru song. Nami Dagado, Kema Namado, Union Ayana Yefu, and make sure good Tom Bori Baba song.
Now, in education, the chairman, Akwa Ibom State Polytechnic chapter of the Academic Staff Union of Polytechnics ASUP, Comrade Eteyenuko, has advocated periodic conferences and workshops for academic staff as a means to stimulate ideas which will lead to innovations and discoveries through education and scientific research. Comrade Uko said this while delivering his welcome address at the opening ceremony of the Polytechnic's second international conference with the theme Re-Engineering Nations, Systems for Sustainable Development. Noted that the Polytechnic's first ASUP National Conference in Akwa Poly was held in April 2009. He, however, expressed the lies that 13 years after, himself and his ASCO have worked hard to bring to fruition the second ASUP International Conference, which was one of his campaign promises.
The theme of this gathering, Re-Engineering Nations System for Sustainable Development, is considering the spillover effect of COVID-19 pandemic. Our systems, individual and collective, have been challenged by the pandemic, hence the call for a revisitation of issues covering us as individuals, communities, and as a nation. The team is positioned as an ideal representation because defined and continue to be redefined. I believe that these things invite hope for self-awareness and societal stability in order to achieve the ecological and globally accepted system. It is my belief that this conference will facilitate intense awareness, cooperation, and recognition of common goals holding us as a nation.
He impressed on participants the need to embrace the conference with all seriousness, adding that the spillover effect of the COVID-19 pandemic globally makes the theme of the conference fitting. The ASOP chairman charged all participants to make good use of all venues and avenues in the conference to learn, as according to him, the gathering of academic eggheads can never be convoked without academic gain.
Of our nation. I therefore charge all participants to make good use of these avenues in this conference to learn. And this gathering of academic eggheads can never be composed without gain. This is why Jim Stovall noted that you need to be aware of what others are doing, applaud their efforts, acknowledge their successes, and encourage them in their pursuits.
Declaring the conference open, the rector, Aqua Poly, Dr. Moses Umobong, represented by the deputy rector, Engineer Dr. Okonosung, urged the participants to pay close attention to papers presented so as to learn, unlearn, and gain new knowledge that will help them advance the course of academics. Now, while communication at the end of the conference urged that re-engineering nation systems for sustainable development should be preceded by institutional reorientation of individuals to evoke governments to develop strong advocacy to restructure the nation's system, that poverty, which is a major factor militating against sustainable development in Nigeria, can be reduced to the barest minimum by mounting poverty alleviation programs that would impact positively on the populace and put a stop to exodus of professionals to overseas. The communique also states that to achieve sustainable development, policy formulation by government should have capacity to meet the current needs of Nigerians, overcome challenges, and have a correlated compromise for the future, and that there is the strong need to re-engineer the Nigerian system as facts on the ground, such as high rates of poverty, exchange rate and hunger, as well as low GDP, have testified to the necessity of re-engineering. The conference, which began on Tuesday, September 21st and ends today, Friday, 23rd September, also featured plenary sessions and technical group presentations by participants within and outside the Polytechnic, as well as presentation of certificates of participation to participants. The conference also had in attendance management staff, deans of schools, heads of departments, and academic staff of the Polytechnic. Now to the national scene, where President Muhammadu Buhari has described the United States as Nigeria's main trading partner and one of our most important diplomatic partners. The president's spokesman, Femi Adesina, in a statement, said Buhari said this at a meeting with the Business Council for International Understanding, BCIU, at the Nigeria International Economic Partnership Forum, which meeting was held on margins of the 77th UN General Assembly in New York, noting that the development underscored the need for concerted efforts to increase the volume of bilateral trade. The Nigerian leader told the gathering that in 2020, Nigeria exported over $1.69 billion worth of goods to the U.S., adding that these exports were primarily made up of crude oil and other petroleum products. He, however, maintained that Nigeria is open to deepening collaboration with BCIU and pledged his administration's continued commitment to maintaining and enabling business environment that is friendly to foreign investors. President Buhari stressed that global supply chains are currently facing a challenging time as U.S. shippers have been under strain caused by reduced inputs from China and the growing backlog of European imports caused by the Russia-Ukraine crisis. He further expressed confidence that the situation in the world today has presented an opportunity for real sector investment in Nigeria. Away from that, the federal government has released timetable for the celebration of the 62nd independence anniversary of Nigeria. The Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, released this during a press conference in Abuja. He noted that there will be a church service on Sunday, September 25th, 2022, at the National Christian Center, Central Business District, Abuja, at 3 p.m. This will be followed by a public lecture focused on national unity on Thursday, September 29th, at the State House Conference Hall at 10 a.m. Mohammed further disclosed that Friday, September 30, 2022 will be special Jummah prayers at the National Mosque, Central Business District in Abuja, while on Saturday, October 1st, 2022, there will be a presidential broadcast at 7 a.m., stressing that later on the same day, there will be a military parade at Eagle Square, Central Business District, Abuja, starting at 10 a.m. He, however, added that a word of national honors will be held as part of the 62nd Independence Anniversary on October 11th, 2022 in Abuja. You're listening to the news on Planet Radio, 101.1 FMU. Let's take a breather and then bring more stories from foreign, sports, and entertainment centers. To stay with us.
Healthy living begins with the choices one makes. Choosing to live healthy is the first step to healthy living. Join us Sundays 1:30 to 2 p.m. for Healthway. Awareness for healthy choices.
Forcing with us now on the foreign scene. The UK's new government today will unveil multi-billion-pound measures aimed at supporting households and businesses hit by the highest inflation in decades. Finance Minister Kwasi Kwarteng will deliver a budget package at 8:30 GMT. Recall that Kwarteng had said he would scrap a tax on salaries recently implemented by his predecessor, Rishi Sunak, and will review the costs of the new government's plan to cap energy bills for households and businesses. Kwarteng is similarly expected to scrap a plan to increase tax on company profits that was signed off by Truss's predecessor Boris Johnson. The report said the finance minister could also ask a banker's bonus cap in place since 2014 and a legacy of EU membership. Now to sports, where the Boston Celtics suspended head coach Emil Doka for the entire 2022-2023 NBA season for violations of team policies. The Celtics did not specify what Udoka's policy violations were. Reports say that the 45-year-old Nigerian-American had a consensual relationship with a female member of the Celtics staff that broke the franchise's code of conduct. The punishment, among the harshest ever issued to an NBA head coach, comes with the Celtics preseason training camp due to open next week. According to report, Udoka said he accepted the Celtics' decision. Assistant coach Joe Mazzulla will, however, step in as interim coach for the 2022-2023 campaign. Now, on the Simmons in music star Ayo Balogun, popularly known as Wizkid, has announced that he will be performing his next album on Apple Music in London on September 27, 2022. Wizkid announced this via his Twitter handle. Wizkid revealed that he would be performing his much anticipated album, More Love, Less Ego, MLLE, at the event. The performance will be the first time his fans will hear the album, which is set for release later this year. As a fast-growing base of Afrobeats, Wizkid's live performance on Apple Music is indeed another big thing for the Nigerian music industry. It's been the news on Planet Radio, 101.1 FM. Before we go, a recap of the major stories. Federal government has released timetable for the celebration of the 62nd Independence Anniversary of the country. Akwa Ibom State Governor Domimano says the creation of Akwa Ibom State 35 years ago was a grand fulfillment of the dreams of the founding fathers of the area. Following the alleged accusation by Township Drivers Association (TDAs) of unnecessary taxations on commercial drivers in the state, the Ministry of Transportation has debunked such claim, describing it as false. On the foreign scene, we told you that the UK's new government today will unveil multi-billion-pound measures aimed at supporting households and businesses hit by the highest inflation in decades. In sports, we reported that Boston Celtics suspended head coach Emil Doka for the entire 2022-2023 NBA season for violations of team policies. For comments and coverage of news or the events, call our newsroom on 0812-770-2940. Visit our website on planet11fm.ng. Follow us on Twitter at planet_.